Let me ask you something real right now. How many of you out there know you were made for more, not just to exist, not just to make it through the day, but to live, to lead, to light something up inside of you that this world hasn't even seen yet? And yet, here you are, doing all the right things, but feeling like something's still off, like you're running fast, but getting nowhere, like there's this invisible wall between the life you have and the life you know you were meant to live. And I want to tell you something. It's not your fault. No one ever taught you that the questions you ask yourself every single day are shaping your entire reality. They're deciding whether you live with purpose or with pain, with power or with passivity. And if you're asking disempowering questions, you're going to get disempowering answers, period. But here's the truth, and it's a truth that can set your entire life on fire. These 3 questions I'm about to give you, if you actually use them, will change how you think, how you feel, how you love, how you lead, how you do everything. And I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to awaken something real in you. Because you don't need more motivation, you need better direction. You don't need to hustle harder, you need to align deeper. So if you're ready to stop living in reaction and start living by design, I want you to lean in right now, because the next 10 minutes could shift the trajectory of your next 10 years. Let me know if you want this intro recorded as an audio file or formatted for a video voiceover. Let me ask you something right now, and don't answer from your head, answer from your soul. Are you living your life? Or just reacting to it? Most people, they're in a trance. They wake up, scroll a screen, chase a paycheck, check boxes. And they call that living, but deep down, something's missing. Passion, purpose, power, not because they don't have it, but because no one ever taught them to unlock it. And here's what I know. You change your questions, you change your focus. You change your focus, you change your life. Because whatever you focus on, you feel, and what you feel, you act on. That's why today isn't about motivation. It's not about hype. It's about precision. It's about power. And it's about asking the 3 questions that will completely change how you live, love, lead, and how you rise. Let me break this down for you, because this isn't theory, this is life design. Question 1, what am I focused on? What you focus on, you move toward. If you're focused on what's missing, what's broken, what's not enough, you feel pain, fear, and paralysis. But if you train your focus, if you consciously decide to look for progress, opportunity, growth, your mind shifts from problem mode to solution mode. You literally rewire your nervous system for momentum. Ask it in the moment, what am I focused on right now? Is it empowering me or draining me? Question 2, what does this mean? Meaning equals emotion, and emotion is the fuel of life. 2 people can go through the same event. One says, this is the end. The other says, this is the beginning. One collapses, the other grows. Same event, different meaning. You get to assign the meaning, not your past, not your parents, not the world. You ask it every day, what meaning am I giving this? Because that meaning will either break you or make you. Question 3, what am I going to do about IT? This is the action question, the breakthrough question. You can focus all day. You can have powerful meaning, but without motion, there is no transformation. Ask, what's the one action I can take right now that moves me forward, that builds momentum, that shifts energy, that reclaims your power? So here's my challenge to you. Don't just write these questions down. Don't just nod, leave them. Every single morning, ask yourself, what am I focused on? What does it mean? What am I going to do about it? Because if you do, you'll start making decisions not from fear, but from clarity. You'll stop reacting and start creating. You'll stop surviving and start living with purpose, with passion, and with power. And that is how you change everything. Let me tell you something that most people never realize until it's too late. Your life is being shaped right now, not by your circumstances, not by your past, not by your education or your bank account, but by the questions you ask yourself every single day. That's it. It sounds so simple, but it's the key that unlocks everything. Because the truth is, the mind is a powerful machine, like a search engine. Whatever question you type into it, it will give you an answer. Type in, why am I not good enough? and it'll dig through every painful memory you've ever had to prove your worthlessness. Ask, why does this always happen to me? And it'll come up with a list of reasons to justify being stuck, being small, being a victim. But if you change the question, even slightly, you change the entire experience of your life. Ask instead, what can I learn from this? And suddenly the pain becomes wisdom. Ask, what's great about this that I'm not seeing yet? And you'll find gratitude in places you never even looked before. Ask, what's the opportunity here? And your brain starts finding solutions instead of amplifying stress. This is not some motivational fluff. This is psychology. This is neuroscience. This is how your nervous system is wired. The difference between people who live in fear and people who live in faith isn't the facts, it's the focus. It's not that their lives are easier, it's that they're asking different questions in the middle of the same storm. When someone loses a job, one person asks, why does this always happen to me? While another asks, what new door is about to open? Same event. Different question, radically different life, and it's not just in crisis. It's in the daily micro moments when you wake up and ask yourself, what's wrong with my life? You'll find it. But if you ask, what am I excited about today? Who do I get to love? Who do I get to serve? How can I grow? You've already primed your emotional state to be in alignment with joy, with purpose, with momentum. You don't need more answers. You need better questions. You don't need a new life. You need a new lens, and that lens gets created by training your focus. You direct your life by directing the questions you give your brain, because your brain is always listening, always filtering, always feeding you the world it thinks you want to live in. And guess what? You get to decide that. You get to train that. So if you're tired of being stuck, tired of settling, tired of living on autopilot, start here. Start now. Ask better questions, and watch your entire life transform in front of your eyes. Here's the truth, we are not limited by our conditions. We are limited by our clarity. People aren't overwhelmed because they have too many things to do. They're overwhelmed because they don't have a clear reason to do them. They don't have a why that drives the how. They're moving fast but with no direction. And you know what happens when you run fast in the wrong direction. You just end up lost, faster, and that's what kills drive. That's what kills purpose. That's what creates burnout. Not the workload, the lack of meaning. The right questions give you meaning. They give you clarity. They give you a way to take control of the narrative you're living in. If you want power in your life, not just surface motivation, but lasting internal power, you have to start questioning the lens you're looking through. You have to ask questions that put you back in the driver's seat of your experience. Because when you change the question, you change the frame. And when you change the frame, you change what you see, what you feel, and how you act. Most people walk around with a question like, what's wrong with me? Or why does life have to be so hard? You ask that and the mind will find evidence. It'll find 100 reasons why you're broken, why it won't work, why it's too late, and you'll live that. That becomes your emotional state. That becomes your standard. But what if instead you asked, what can I learn from this moment that will make me stronger? Or how is this challenge preparing me for something greater? Same life, same situation, but a different emotional quality, a different identity, a different action. See, clarity doesn't come from sitting around. It comes from shifting your focus through better questions. Meaning isn't something you find, it's something you give. You assign the meaning, and when you start assigning empowering meaning, everything begins to align. You start accessing parts of yourself that were dormant. Creativity, resilience, passion, vision, they were there all along. You just weren't asking the questions that woke them up. This is why some people, even in pain, even in chaos, rise up with fire in their soul, while others fold. It's not genetics, it's not luck, it's clarity. And clarity is a muscle. It comes from conditioning your mind to ask the questions that serve your purpose instead of your fear. You do that, your emotions change, your decisions change, your relationships change. Your results explode because now you're no longer waiting for life to give you meaning. You're bringing it, you're creating it every single day. So if you want to live with purpose, with presence, with power, start asking questions that create clarity, that fuel meaning, that ignite your action, that call forth the strongest, clearest, most unstoppable version of you.